Professor Regan is a scientist with a dream. She's putting any product that uses science to sell under the microscope and making sure every marketing claim is true to its word. She wants to hunt down products that are backed up by real scientific evidence. Because she's creating a magic emporium where everything does exactly what it says on the tin. This week, she's taking on the celebrity-inspired health and beauty industry. She wants to uncover a way to get fit that means gym memberships can be thrown in the bin.
I'm actually sweating now. I'm not paid to sweat.
See if she can find a scientifically proven detox.
Different.
And she'll reveal the ultimate scientific way to make you look younger.
You look totally different.
There's no shortage of products promising solutions to creating the perfect image. But only those with scientific evidence that really stands up will make it into Professor Regan's health spa. For 14 years, Professor Regan has run the obstetrics and gynecology department at St. Mary's Hospital.
Patrick, it's Prof. Regan speaking.
At work, she relies on the fact that every treatment and drug she uses is backed up by rigorous scientific research.
Another bad hair day.
Scientific proof really means something to Professor Regan.
Small clip to me, please.
So what will she think when she takes those scientific ideals out into the world of beauty, where science is used to sell? Professor Regan knows that it's only a matter of time before the ravages of age strike her. Like most of us, she's interested in anything that will delay the inevitable. In searching for this, she's discovered a surprising anti-aging aid, and she's going to put it to the test. In just a few hours, she thinks she can give these women the ultimate dream of rejuvenation. We'll find out if this unorthodox treatment can really turn back the years.
That's lovely.
Because the first thing on Professor Regan's list is the ultimate in beauty. A perfect, youthful face. So do you think you can guess how old Professor Regan is? Could you tell she is actually 52? The chances are you were probably pretty close. Every time you step out of the door, someone will be guessing your age. We might think this is just paranoia, but it's scientifically proven to be true. Judging age is a basic instinct and something humans turn out to be very good at. Dr. Graham Hole has spent much of his career researching how good we are at judging age.
So what we're going to do now, what you're going to see is a whole series of faces.
He's going to put Professor Regan to the test to find out how good she is at judging age.
There are 27 faces in all, and what I want you to do is just estimate to the nearest year how old you think each face is.
The nearest year.
To the nearest year,
Not
yeah.
the nearest decade.
Not the nearest decade, that'd be too easy. You want to start?
The test is simple.
30.
30. Okay.
All the professor has to do is guess the ages of the people she sees on the screen.
65. 25.
There are three types of image. Blurred faces,
45.
faces with internal features only,
28.
and unmanipulated faces.
50. 40. 25.
The images flash on just for a fleeting moment, but this doesn't seem to be hampering Professor Regan.
60, 35, 33, 65.
Right, that's the end.
How did I get on?
You did surprisingly well, actually.
Professor Regan's results are remarkably accurate. For the unmanipulated images, she was correct to within 2.8 years of the person's true age.
In some cases, in many cases actually, you were within a year of the true age. It's quite remarkable.
So what do I put that down to? 30 years in outpatients, judging people.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm fascinated by the fact that human beings seem to be good at judging age. Now, why is that?
Yeah, my hunch is that it's arisen for good evolutionary reasons. There must have been strong selection pressures on us to decide whether somebody is of an appropriate age to kind of mate with, whether they're too young to mate with, too old to mate with, and in the case of males as well, whether other
Too old
males
or too young
are...
to fight with?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Dr. Hole has discovered we're so good at judging age, we can do it in a glance. In his experiments, people make accurate predictions in less than 1/10 of a second. So the science confirms that we should be worried about how old we look. The beauty industry is cashing in on this fear of aging, persuading us to part with £15 billion a year in an attempt to trick our highly tuned age perception system. These anti-aging products are sold with science more than any other. And the aim of most of these products is the elimination of wrinkles. Something Professor Regan is all too familiar with. She's already taken on the rejuvenating creams industry. But there is far more on offer than mere creams. The high street is packed with companies falling over themselves to sell us the latest medical technology, redesigned to fight the wrinkle.
Treatment options that you could look at having is either with the IPL, the collagen booster treatments. Another treatment which might be suitable is actually the skin peels.
A treatment originally used to remove acne scars, dermal abrasion, is now available to smooth anyone's skin.
Skin revitalisation, pigmentation and thread
A
vein
wart removal medicine is now the main component of many chemical peels that claim to remove fine lines.
The next option would be the injectables.
So it's no surprise injections have also been drafted in to help fight the dreaded wrinkle. The Wrinkle Buster Botox was originally given a medical license by the FDA to treat eye muscle disorders.
These fillers are really thick and really difficult to inject.
The other injectable is the dermal filler. It literally plumps up the skin, making the wrinkles appear less deep. The most common fillers are based on the synthetic chemical hyaluronic acid, also used to treat arthritis of the knee.
Slight little bumpiness there, which I'm now going to really
you're going to sort of massage
that in. Uncomfortable.
But just like Botox, the effects of fillers are temporary.
This line's gone.
But in the multi-billion-pound war against the wrinkle, no one seems to have asked the obvious question. Will the elimination of the wrinkle solve the problem of aging? Is it the wrinkle that actually makes us look old?
40.
In Sussex, Dr. Hole may have the answer. The test of Professor Regan's ability to judge age reveals an interesting phenomenon.
30.
When it comes to wrinkles, the effects on age is surprisingly slight.
30.
For the blurred faces, where the wrinkles have effectively been removed, her estimation of age was slightly less accurate than with the normal images. But she was only out by an additional year, guessing on average to within 3.8 years. Dr. Hole thinks he knows why.
Just removing the wrinkles probably wouldn't be enough to remove all of the cues to a person's age. It's well documented in research on face recognition that we use different information from faces in order to recognise familiar faces and unfamiliar faces. For familiar faces, we pay much more attention to the internal part of the face, the eyes, the nose and the mouth. For unfamiliar faces, we pay much more attention to the external features, the shape of the head and hairstyle.
Faces missing these external features were the most difficult to age, even though the wrinkles were still visible. With these images, Professor Regan was accurate to only 6 years of the true age. And the most significant thing missing from these faces is hair. And that's where Professor Regan's volunteers come in. They're a special group made up of 4 pairs of mothers and daughters. They're Sharon and Kelly, Carla and Lara, Mavis and Amber,
Do you want to go slightly behind?
Victoria and Joe.
Perfect, okay, that's great.
Using Dr. Hole's theories, she's promised the mothers in just a couple of hours she'll have knocked years off their ages.
That's lovely.
And she won't use creams or injections. Because Professor Regan wants to know if hairstyle is more important than wrinkles when it comes to judging age. She's got the expert help of Philippa from the wig store.
Now these are handmade, and at the very hairline they're knotted one hair at a time, so to give that natural hairline look. But looking at the picture, I think still we might need to do an awful lot of work on that.
To prove her point, she will change their hairstyles, turning the mothers into their daughters and the daughters into their mothers.
I'm really looking forward to seeing my mum with my hair, because I think, for me, that would be the most dramatic.
Oh, well, I hope it makes me look younger. I hope I do. I think my daughter's very glamorous, so if I can be half as good as her, that would be lovely.
If Professor Regan is right, this simple hair swap could prove to be more effective than any number of injections.
That is so funny. You look totally different.
Great, that's lovely.
Carla has swapped her blonde bob for Lara's long dark curls. And now, Lara sports her mother's short golden locks. For the other mothers and daughters, the transformation is equally dramatic.
If my hair is as frizzy as that, I'm doing something about it.
It needs a good cut.
Now Professor Regan's theory is really going to be put to the test.
So we're going to send the photographs of you as you are now with your new hairdos off to an expert in age perception, and he's going to then compare them to the before photographs.
Dr. Hole is analysing both sets of pictures.
What I want you to do is estimate as best you can how old you think each woman is.
First, one group of students are asked to guess the ages of the mothers and daughters before their wicked transformation. Then it's all change, and another group score the women with their wigs on.
What we found is that the wigs do seem to have made a difference to the apparent age of the women. On average, the wigs have made the mothers look just under 4 years younger. And in the case of the daughters, the wigs have made the daughters look about 3 years older.
It's an astonishing outcome. Just the simple change of hairstyles has knocked years off the mothers, whilst adding them to their unsuspecting daughters.
This experiment suggests that not only does hair affect people's ability to recognise faces, but it does influence their ability to estimate their age as well.
So does Professor Regan think the hundreds of pounds we spend on everything from creams to injections is really worth it?
I was impressed with how effective dermal fillers are at getting rid of wrinkles. But I also found myself wondering whether sticking needles into your face may be a step too far for some people.
Although we're all obsessed with wrinkles, the science suggests they're not as important as we think.
It was very encouraging to discover that a trip to the hairdressers may be equally useful in holding back the years.
Because wrinkles aren't necessarily the most important sign of aging, Professor Regan's going to opt for a regular trip to her favourite hairstylist to keep her youthful looks. So a good haircut is the first item on her checklist of perfection, and her secret to a young-looking face. Turning an ordinary body into the celebrity-perfect image is a modern must.
3, 2, 1, pick it up.
It's a scientific fact that a regular workout, from exercise classes to pumping iron, will make you lose weight and tone muscles. It's good science, but there is a problem. Most of us don't have the time, money, or willpower to stick to it.
No, not a member of gym at all. Probably should be.
I was a member of a gym before Christmas, and then I kind of stopped going because it became Christmas and I drank a lot.
Getting out of bed in the mornings never happened. After work, there was always too many interesting things to do.
I'm just too lazy.
I don't like the idea of just walking on a treadmill and paying for it.
Like the 3.5 million of us who let our gym memberships lapse each year, Professor Regan's not so keen on a serious exercise regime.
Causes much amusement down Westbourne Grove.
She wants to find a scientifically proven method to banish the gym card forever and still get a perfect body. She's starting with someone who's in more need than most of this ultimate weight loss solution. Meet Mark Edis.
I drive pretty much every day. There's the train that leaves from the village, but it's not ever so reliable.
He's not particularly active, and he's certainly not the biggest fan of the gym.
This is me, this is my office. I'm fixed to this computer 20–30% of the day.
At Liverpool John Moores University, Professor Tim Cable is going to find out just how much Mark Edis needs a new fitness regime.
We need you in some shorts and a t-shirt and some socks.
It doesn't take long to discover that Mark's carrying too much fat.
Percentage body fat at 28% is a little in the high zone. So you're late for work now.
And his maximum fitness level is
15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, off.
Well, not so fit. But Professor Regan reckons she's discovered a scientific secret which can help Mark on his way to a perfect figure. And he won't have to go near a treadmill, a rowing machine, or even put on a pair of trainers. Dr. James Levine has been studying the impact of everyday activity on health and fitness. After 10 years of research, he thinks this could be a key cause of obesity.
What we're really talking about is people's daily activity levels falling away over the last 100 years, and particularly with the computer revolution over the last 20 years. Instead of moving around throughout the day, people have become terribly sedentary. And what we found was that people with obesity are prone to be seated 2.5 hours per day more, 2.5 hours per day more than people who are lean.
Dr. Levine believes obese people can become lean without ever going near a gym. It's something he calls NEAT, and he's run over 20 studies to research it.
So James, what is NEAT?
NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. What it is the calories people burn throughout their everyday life. If you're threading activity into your day without changing clothes, having a good time, just relaxed, you're doing NEAT.
Dr. Levine has devised a very special piece of equipment that proves NEAT activity really adds up.
Do not take off the shorts to use the toilet.
The special pants will record every movement Mark makes, no matter how small.
We interlaced into the underwear a whole series of sensors. And just to be as precise and accurate as possible, they were the same sensors that are used on aeroplane flight modules to keep aeroplanes flying straight.
Of course, this pouch is not going to do my waistline any favours.
This enables us every half a second to measure the movement and activity that a person does.
I can't wait.
Can Dr. Levine's NEAT regime really be a shortcut to avoiding the gym?
Hey everybody, these are the instructions for my new activity routine. It says in big letters, walk wherever possible. Do not drive if you can walk it in 20 minutes or less. Every morning, please iron one item of clothing for each member of the family. Yeah. Clean the bathroom. Catch the bus to and from work. Never stand on an escalator. Cook dinner for the family. Jack, do you think you would eat Daddy's dinner?
No, you're not.
By building a bit more activity into Mark's daily life, we'll find out if NEAT really works.
This is the first working day of my new active schedule. I've had to wash up and dry up as opposed to just dropping in the dishwasher. And I haven't been able to sit down since I got up, which is unusual for me. I can't remember ever getting the bus in the last few years. So, all in all, bit of a challenge.
Dr. Levine's pants should tell us exactly how much energy Mark is burning with his new regime.
I haven't got any bus fare. Can I borrow your bus fare, Luce?
The regime starts with a walk to the bus stop. Even standing, Mark is burning calories.
This is my morning walk, so this is a priority walk. And it's much faster than usual. And it's making my heart beat faster, so that's got to be good. I'm actually sweating now. I'm not paid to sweat. Because I'm puffed already, so...
Even without going to the gym, Mark is finding the NEAT regime is building up a sweat.
You want a better body.
But there are some products which claim to give a washboard look with no effort at all.
Missing. 20 minutes with Slendertone can be like doing 120 abdominal crunches. It helps tone and define your abs. Add tone. Add Slendertone.
Surely this has to be the ultimate con. But it says clinically proven. Can this be true? If used daily for 8 weeks, this electrical muscle stimulator claims it will transform abdominal muscles, making them toned and strong.
Tummy. It's a bit sticky, because now I've got to press the button. Let's see what happens. So far, nothing.
The idea is that the machine stimulates the electrical signals normally sent by the brain.
Oh, yes.
With every pulse of electricity from the belt, Professor Regan's muscles are forced to contract.
Well, it's like lots and lots of little needles going into you. Extraordinary to stand here and it's just exercises your stomach. Oh, yes, you saw that.
But is all this tingling and twitching really doing the professor's abs any good?
So, a recent user trial conducted by a leading US professor of exercise and sports science, Dr. John Porcari, says that 100% of the subjects reported that their midsections were firmer and more toned. I think I'm going to take this off and then I'm going to go and look up this Dr. John Porcari and look at his results a little bit more carefully.
When looking at any scientific evidence, Professor Regan has 3 golden rules she uses to see if it's robust. Rule number 1, are the results published in a reputable scientific journal? Rule 2, do the statistics show the results are significant and relevant to what you want the product to do? And Rule 3, are the trials carried out with a control group for comparison? The Slender Tone study definitely meets Rule 1. The study was carried out by John Porcari, a professor of sports science, and published in a reputable journal.
John Porcari.
Oh, John, it's Lesley Regan speaking. I'm ringing on behalf of the BBC.
Hi, Lesley.
John Porcari's study also met Rule 3. It was carried out with a control group, and the product demonstrated a clear effect on the abdominal muscles.
We were pretty amazed. I mean, not doing any sit-ups or any abdominal work to see them increase by 72%. That's a pretty phenomenal increase.
But it's Rule 2 that might cause a problem. Because the real question is, does the result of this study prove the product will have the effect you want?
One of the claims is that it actually reduces waist size.
The product does reduce waist size as the muscles tighten, but it won't make you lose weight.
So it's actually just working on the muscles. It's not having any effect on the fat in my abdominal wall.
Correct.
And this is where the product falls down. The results of the study were significant and clearly showed the Slender Tone works on the abdominal muscles to make them stronger. But if you were hoping to burn fat, you'd be sadly disappointed.
Well, I thought that was really very interesting. This is somebody who's tested lots of these abdominal belts and says that this is a very different type of belt. But what's interesting is when we talked to him in greater detail, what came out is it's not burning abdominal fat, and actually it's not a weight loss tool.
Slender Tone told Professor Regan that the belt isn't designed as a weight loss product. It is a great way to make muscles stronger, but it won't help her or Mark to burn calories. Mark is finding that the activity is really beginning to stack up in his day.
Going for lunch.
6 o'clock, day over, and it's back on the bus.
Hello, babes. Are you ready to go?
But no time to rest. There's a daughter to be taken to Brownies.
Just walked about a half a mile. I would normally get at home. Lucy would already be at Brownies. I'd have found my favourite chair by now.
Daylight is fading, but there's time for one last bit of activity.
No, I've not made this before. I've not made many things before, to be fair.
Even cooking burns the calories.
This right, actually.
It's actually better than yours.
Mark has managed to burn 317 calories more today than on a normal day. That's equivalent to 2 packets of crisps or nearly an hour on an exercise bike. It's time to find out if all Mark's efforts are paying off.
Hello, Lesley Regan. Nice.
Professor Regan has joined Mark in Liverpool to see if his health has improved. Like last time, they start by precisely measuring the composition of Mark's body.
And what's the average fat composition for a man of his age?
A man of Mark's age would be looking somewhere between 18 and 23% body fat.
Last time, Mark's body fat measured 28%. Has burning an additional 300 calories a day made a difference? An ultrasound scan of the main artery in Mark's arm will examine his vascular health. For this test, the flow of blood to Mark's right arm is stopped for 5 minutes.
It's all a bit strange.
Your lower arm and your hand will survive this.
Then the blood is allowed to rush back towards his hand. Professor Cable is looking to measure how wide his artery becomes in response.
So if you imagine all the vessels in your body are a little bit wider, there's less resistance to blood flow and therefore your blood pressure will be lower.
While those results are analysed, it's time for the final test, a precise measure of Mark's fitness. From now on, every breath Mark takes will be analysed.
What we're measuring is Mark's cardiovascular and metabolic responses to the same amount of exercise that he did last time. This is a stress, so he should be less responsive to that stress this time round by virtue of being slightly fitter.
Because his threshold is higher.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
Now all Mark has to do is run to exhaustion.
You do the next 30 seconds. Marvellous. You okay to go to the next intensity? Excellent. 3, 2, 1, new intensity. Don't worry about the treadmill, it won't go anywhere. Coming up to the end of this 30, can you do another 30? 10 seconds left, can you go to the next intensity? Okay, get ready to stop, Gerard. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and finish. Brilliant.
The data is collected. The results have been analysed.
So, Mark and Tim, the moment of truth. I think Tim's going to show us your results.
Great. Has Mark's extra effort paid off? As part of the NEAT regime, Mark managed to increase the amount he walked in a day by an impressive 53%. And on average, he was walking 17% faster than he usually did. So surely he's lost weight.
The percent body fat, it's gone up slightly to 28.4% body fat. So even though you've been more physically active, your body composition has probably changed slightly the wrong way than we might have expected. But if you found yourself...
Now, why was that? Was it because you're eating more?
It might have been because I've been working more, so I've been snacking more, and I'll need to change that process.
It's not looking good for NEAT. Mark actually weighs more. Will the ultrasound scan of his arteries reveal better results?
The first time, your artery dilated by around about 4.5%. This time round, it's dilated by about 7.5%, so there's been some improvement in blood vessel function there.
After just 3 weeks, the amount Mark's brachial artery is able to stretch has increased by 2/3, improving his circulation and health. The most striking results have come from the fitness test.
If you just have a look at the data here, last time round, heart rate of 173 beats a minute. This time round, a 20-beat difference. That's a significantly lower heart rate. Your physiology has adapted to becoming more physically active.
Mark was able to run for 1 minute longer and an extra kilometre an hour before he hit his maximum heart rate.
Brilliant.
His peak fitness has dramatically increased.
So, Tim, you showed us these changes, but it's only been 3 weeks of this new NEAT programme. So what does this really mean for Mark's health?
The longer you go for in exercise time, the less your risk of dying from anything, be it cardiovascular disease or cancer or metabolic diseases, that you're reducing the risk by about 50%. So the important message is, it doesn't take much exercise or physical activity to have a marked effect on your physiology and your health.
All this through just 3 weeks of work without ever touching a tracksuit or entering a gym. So when it comes to the best exercise to get the perfect figure, what will Professor Regan be recommending in her health spa?
Gyms offer a great service with specially trained personnel and a motivating environment. But what I've discovered is that you don't need to go to a gym to keep fit. Taking the stairs instead of the lift may not seem like a big change, but over time, that activity really does mount up. So when it comes to exercise, the message is every little bit counts.
Professor Regan's health spa becomes home to a full range of exercise opportunities. The gym will work if you do it. But her favorite is the calorie-burning NEAT activity regime, where everything from walking to work to catching the bus counts. In Professor Regan's search for perfection, she doesn't like to leave any stone unturned. She's been scouring the shelves looking for products that sell with science. And her mission isn't over. There is one product that nearly half the world uses every day. It's a product that the manufacturers claim is driven by science. It's the razor blade. Professor Regan has gained access to this top-secret research facility of a major razor manufacturer. She wants to see if they're using real science or selling us a dud. Her first impressions are good. There's certainly no shortage of scientific-looking gadgets and scientists.
We can basically see live on Ian's face here really what the razor is faced with. You can see here the hairs.
Yes, you can see them coming out here.
Indeed.
The first step in scientific razor research is to work out just what you're up against. Kevin Powell runs this research facility.
You're trying to cut something with the strength of copper wire, and yet it's held in a medium that, quite frankly, skin is, you can see, it's very, very mobile.
And all pointing in different directions.
Absolutely.
The razor requires super sharp blades that can cut through hair sitting in skin that has the consistency of jelly.
There, you could see that that skin was very undulating.
It's a wonder that humans were ever able to shave before the invention of the electron microscope.
If you misplace these blades relative to each other by about the radius of a human beard hair, then consumers will tell you that's a bad shave.
It's hard to imagine, but there was a time when all razors had just one blade. Now shaving is a multi-blade experience. But what on earth can multiple blades do that one can't?
Why do you need all these blades? Why doesn't one razor blade suffice?
And that actually stems back to work that was done in this laboratory, really in the 60s, in the late 60s.
Kevin says the creation of multi-blade razors required super high-speed photography and a fancy scientific name, hysteresis. But to explain how they work, all Kevin requires is a pen.
This hand now is a blade, then as it comes along, it engages the hair, and before it cuts the hair, it can actually pull it several hundred micrometers, so several hair diameters out of the skin. It will cut through, and then a little bit of that amount that it was pulled out will retract into the skin. So what that means now is you've got a portion of that hair that was below skin level that's still above skin level. That now means when you have a second blade come along,
chops that off.
you've got it.
And then it retracts.
Exactly that, and therefore you've cut below skin level.
This allows all multi-blade razors to cut closer. So Professor Regan has seen there is some real technology here, but that's not enough to satisfy her. Science only really stands up when you test it in the real world. And for the razor, that means on people's faces. Kevin has laid on a demonstration.
So we will bring in over 80 members of the public every day to shave in here, and we will actually watch them, and you're really seeing what they're getting out of the shave. So it's not just a question of asking them. You can actually see a lot of their emotions in there as you're shaving.
Learn from watching these people shave? Why not just look at their faces after they've shaved?
Everyone has a different way of shaving. And the biggest variable scientifically in our test is the human being. We need to understand what all of those parameters look like so we can cater for them and give the ideal shave.
So when it comes to creating the perfect shave, the biggest scientific variable is you, the customer. To achieve the ideal shave, you need to do things right. Before shaving, hydrate. Getting the hairs wet or moisturized makes them bigger, softer, and easier for the blades to cut. After shave, never use alcohol. The razor will remove the top layer of skin cells, which act as a trap for moisture. The skin should be rehydrated with a moisturizer. So the key to a perfect shave is you. There is one word, stolen from the science books, that is more abused than any other. It is used to describe a bewildering array of products, services, and treatments. That word is detox.
Detox. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Getting rid of bad things in your body in general. I think that's my understanding.
Inside the body or like
I think it
external
could be
thing?
both, but I'm not quite sure.
All I know, detox when you're on drugs, really.
There was a time when detox meant just one thing: going cold turkey and escaping the ravages of heroin addiction. But today you don't see heroin or addiction written on the products offering detox for sale. Now detox means a host of different things.
These are going to detoxify my hair.
The manufacturers claim these detox tongs have a nano silver coating that makes them antibacterial.
They're just curling tongs. I just don't see how they're going to detoxify my hair.
These teas suggest detox means flushing toxins.
Different.
Bromide,
chlorine,
skin iodine.
But the makers of these detox bath salts claim that one of the ways it works is by getting you to take a bath, a known de-stressor.
Can't feel anything magical happening, not yet anyway.
It seems detox can mean anything from making you feel nice to just cleaning. But there is one range of detox products that have really caught Professor Regan's eye.
This is a 5-day detox plan, apple flavour.
The Detox Diet Supplement.
A breakthrough formula, the manufacturers claim. It doesn't tell me, though, what toxins it's going to remove from my body.
Professor Regan wants clear clinical evidence that these products have a beneficial effect. So first, she needs some guinea pigs. For that, she's turned to a group who really feel like they need a detox. These students are the ideal candidates. Like many, their bodies are well used to toxins.
I am quite known at uni to have quite a active lifestyle. I put it like that.
Microwavable meals.
After sort of a heavy night, I quite like to get up and have a really strong cup of coffee.
When I do drink, it's too excessive.
So warm. And a shot of Sambuca, maybe?
The students hope to reverse the effect junk food, caffeine, and alcohol have taken on them when they start their detox tomorrow.
I do feel pretty nasty. I feel quite sort of dirty inside myself.
Stage 2 in the detox trial is to split the group. Dan, Rob, and Cara are going to take a high street detox product. Professor Regan knows all good trials should involve a control group, so Jason, Stephanie, and Davinia are going to be taking a placebo. It's the juice of tinned peaches, drained from a can costing just 49p. The students don't know if they're taking the real product or the control.
It
smells like peach.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells really good.
But it's not as simple as drinking the product. Both groups of students will also have to follow the strict rules required by the High Street detox product.
While on the detox plan, it is important that you eat at least 5 portions of fruit and veg per day.
I reckon I have 1 piece of fruit a week.
I don't even have that.
You have to avoid caffeine, alcohol, nicotine, processed/fast foods, sweets and chocolate.
Everything I eat, everything I eat has been ruled out.
Professor Regan's detox plan is looking a little scary.
We're herbs. Nice.
Normally, around about now, I'd be having a nice, strong cup of coffee. But obviously I'm not. So instead, I've got my litre of water ready. And I've only sort of just noticed that it's got like some bits in it. I don't know if you can see that or not.
What have you given us?
See what it tastes like.
It's not too bad, actually.
Professor Regan doesn't just want the students' opinions. She wants objective evidence that the real product is actually working. Most of these detox plans claim to work by stimulating the body's detox system. Professor Regan knows the most important detox system is the liver. Its job is to process dangerous toxins and turn them into products that the body can use or excrete. So if these detox plans are stimulating their detox systems, their livers should be working better. She's turned to her contact book in search of a liver test.
So is there a way of testing liver function?
I don't think there's any need really for an average person to be too worried about their liver function, so we wouldn't really advise ordinary healthy people to get any liver function tests at all.
Yes, there are very standard techniques for assessing liver function, liver blood tests.
To monitor liver function, scientists test enzyme levels, but this won't work for detox.
The liver enzymes that we normally look at in clinical chemistry are a measure of how healthy the liver is, and they would normally be at low levels in a healthy individual. And it's difficult to see how one could use that to show the liver was improving in quality. They would go up if there was any harm, but they wouldn't go down if the liver was any better, because they're normally they are very low levels anyway.
It's a bit of a problem. There's no objective test the professor can use to see if these detox products are helping the liver to work better. But the students are charging on regardless.
I'm really tired, like all the time. I'm finding
I got a good amount of sleep last night. I got about 10 hours, but when I woke up this morning I was still really tired and I just really didn't want to get up.
Stupid little hissy fits and I don't even know why, like a child.
Basically, I'm really missing tea.
I've definitely had at least 7 portions today of fruit and veg, which is obviously way over the 5 recommended, so that's really cool.
Some people have mentioned that I look fresher in the face, which is always good to hear. But then again, I start to think, how did I look before? Did I look dead?
The students are beginning to notice some effects. But they're not just drinking the detox product. They're also following the strict rules that come with it. Could it be these that are having a positive effect? The product states, avoid alcohol.
Yes, the best kind of detox for your liver is building in time each week, alcohol-free.
So that's a check. The product states, cut out processed foods and eat more fruit, vegetables and fish.
So I think to keep a healthy liver, one just has a normal healthy diet. The best advice is to have a normal nutritious diet.
So that gets another check. This is getting suspicious.
There seems to be quite a lot of The evidence to suggest then that just adopting the lifestyle changes that the detox product advocates on the label or on the packaging would achieve the aim for the short term.
That's probably why people do get some benefit, is that they change their normally indulgent lifestyle quite considerably over a couple of days, and they feel much better, and they probably are better, but it's nothing to do with the detox. All they need to do is read the label and forget the product, in my view.
The trial is over, and all of the students have followed the diet and lifestyle instructions. No surprise then that both groups had the same response.
I've been so much more productive with my work, with my research, with meetings with tutors, and I've just felt a lot better after it all.
Like the last couple of days I've had quite a bit more energy and I felt a lot more awake, and I've been wanting to sleep so much, so obviously it must have worked a little bit.
I feel a million times healthier.
So is it the instructions or the detox product that's worked? The real product Professor Regan used in her trial was the Boots 5-day detox plan. It costs £13.21 and contains vitamin C, E and selenium. All the liver experts Professor Regan spoke to felt the product itself wouldn't help detox anyone. Boots told Professor Regan that the Boots detox plans are designed to support the body's natural detoxing processes by providing supporting nutrients. They also help people to commit to changing their eating habits by encouraging sensible eating through the guidance on the pack. Time to tell the students what they've been drinking.
I knew it!
Group A were taking a plan that cost £13.21. Group B just had tinned peach juice at just 40p for a whole can. Because all the students have improved their lifestyles and diets, even those taking a placebo have noticed a result.
I still feel like it's taken an effect even if we didn't have the real solution or anything. It's just like, it still did something.
If it's just the instructions that make detox work, is that enough to get these products into Professor Regan's health spa?
Well, there are a huge range of detox products available to us. And while most of them don't appear to do you any harm, we really couldn't find much evidence that any of them are going to do you real good either. On balance, I think what we have to conclude is that our bodies are very robust detox machines, and it's probably best to leave them just get on and do exactly that.
So the ultimate detox is an old-fashioned, healthy, balanced diet, and that makes it into Professor Regan's health spa. Detox goes in the bin. Professor Regan's search has revealed the most scientific products. So if you too are in search of products that are scientifically proven, what's Professor Regan's advice?
There's no doubt that scientific claims can be a powerful selling tool, and rightly so. If a product's been properly scientifically tested, then you can expect that it will actually do what it claims to do. But sometimes the packaging and the advertising suggest that the product can do more than it can actually provide the evidence for. So only buy the product when you're satisfied that the scientific claims have been met.